Can you take me into a rock jam? How was like a rock jam back then? Like, just give me like a picture, you know, and for like the audience out there, you know.
Well, the jam,
it's a lot different than a b-boy jam, right?
Well, so, you know what? I tell you, what's the different? What's better than the jams back then and today? The better is that the DJs were much better than the DJs today. Today, a DJ is called hip hop DJ. He only plays hip hop. Today, you got a DJ says play reggaeton. He only plays reggaeton. You know, like they, you know, back then they play a little bit of salsa, they play a little bit of disco, they play a little bit of funk, they play what we call R&B, like Good Times, Bounce, and all that. You know, and then at the end they play slow jams. So let's say you knew how to hustle, and you know there were mad girls now. So it's not like today you go to a jam, a b-boy jam, you see some girls, but
you see a few girls.
You see, yeah, but you see a few girls, but if you're going to pick up a girl, you know, you have to really like be, I guess, the best b-boy. But back then, if you hustle and you didn't rock, but you was a good hustler and you dance salsa, you know, girls, we would go out and take our girls to dance. You know, so that's what was the good part. And there's some girls who used to uprock. They used to burn the guys.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you couldn't. Girls was like really big in rocking too back then. You know.
Wow.
Touch of Rock had a girl crew, and we had our Dynasty had a girl crew, and Nasty Rockers had a girl crew. You know, so the girls used to rock. So I mean, they would be able to burn a lot of the fellas, but. Let's say I was dancing all day. I danced rocking, boom, 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 boom. I went, I started dancing hustle and whatever. And at the end, when they play a slow jam, I asked the girl that, I knew she liked me. I would ask her to dance with me slow jam, and she danced with me slow jam. And then from there, I knew that when she was gonna come home with me. That was gonna be my girl for the night, you know.
Oh, nice,
so
nice.
Really, it was for popularity of trying to get the girls. You know, you wanted to. It wasn't like today, you go to b-boy jam. If you don't throw a jam for $1,000, the thing don't get packed.
Yeah.
Back then, party was a party. We danced for little trophies about that small, man. It was the best thing. Like that was like $1 million to us. You know what I'm saying? We danced for shirts. I used to burn people for their shirts, their colors, and go around telling everybody, yo, I burned this guy, I burned that guy. That crew is my crew. I roast that crew.
Oh, tell me something about the shirts when you guys used to burn it in front of the other guy's face.
Well, if you want to make money, you take the shirt, you tell the guy, listen, you burn the guy and you get the shirt. Now, like the next couple of days, say, listen, you want your shirt back? Give me $10.
Oh.
And the guy wanted his shirt back because he didn't want to be embarrassed. He give you the $10. You take the $10 and you give him his shirt back. But if you was mad with the guy, like you and the guy had an envy, and you would hate each other, you would burn the shirt in front of the guy and tell him, yo, your shit was whack, kid. I roast you, man, in front of everybody. And everybody would be like, oh man, that's like a diss. You diss that guy, And usually you didn't want to do that because you want to make money, Because back then, we were kids, man. $10 was like, man, $100 to us,
Yeah.
Rent was cheaper, the cost of living was cheaper, everything was cheaper. But today is different, and but $10, man, you could go and buy maybe 20 records, man, So you were the man, especially with DJing also, and I was always DJing. I was collecting records since I was a kid. I took all my brother's records and my sister's record. I go to my cousin's house, they had records. Yo, you don't want this? I'm taking this. I started loving records because I started loving DJing. Because the older guys used to teach me.
You used to DJ too, right?
Well, yeah, I started DJing because some of the guys on the block. I had BT Express and Crown Heights Affair, the bass player and the drummer. They lived on my block, and I played drums since I was 5 years old. So I used to, play with them sometimes. As a kid, I'd be downstairs playing in the basement with the band. With the BT Express and those guys. And they would play, some gigs, and I would play with them. As a little kid. So. My whole family was they were musicians, so we all got into playing instruments, and when they knew I knew how to play instrument, when I first saw the DJ equipment, I was like, yo, what is this? And they were like, oh, this is a DJ equipment. I was like, yo, can I learn? And it's like, yeah, you wanted me to show you? Because they liked me as one of the kids in the block. I was always I used to hang out with my older brother. My brother was older than me, 3 times older than me. So, those guys, they knew that I was my older brother. I was the little brother of, my brother Bobby. So they would hook me up with everything, because they liked me on the block, I wasn't a bad kid. I was always I could get on with everybody. And basically, God blessing that everybody, you know, liked me and gave me a chance to do different things, you know.
That's good. What I want to ask you, when did you see b-boying first time? Like,
I want to say the first time I saw b-boying was like when I really started wanting to get into b-boying was 1979.
79?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw a guy named Dr. Love and matter of fact Kick from Touch and Rock who joined the Floor Masters with Fast Break and Chino and Brian, those guys. You know, he came around Bushwick and I was like, yo, what's up, man? And I said, yo, they have a rock contest. You gonna come down? He goes, yo, I'm not being in the Bronx. They be breaking. I said, breaking? What are you talking about? And he told me, yo, they be doing, you know, this dance called b-boy and breaking. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, what is it? And then he showed me. I said, oh, it looks like almost like when you're down rocking. He goes, yeah, but they spin on their back and this and this and that. And he started telling me about Dynamic and Rocksteady and the Floor Masters. And I was like, word? I was like, never heard of those crews. And he's like, yeah, you know, Dynamic's from Queens and the other guys are from the Bronx. And I was like, well, all right. I mean, so I was always popping. He goes, yo, you know, I know you pop, Kick and Dr. Love used to be a pop. He goes, I know you pop, but yo, you should get into breaking. So I said, all right, if you show me a little bit, I'll get into it. So I got into it and I started learning. And then I started to meet like Kid Freeze later on. I met Chino Bryan later on. And, you know, and I started just to get into, you know, what b-boying, what breaking was, you know.
Okay.
And I started in 1979, but, you know, later on, I joined Mastermind Rockers, became a b-boy crew, so I joined Mastermind, I became the leader of Bushwick division.
Oh, what?
So, you know, I taught the original Kid Wiggles, I taught Dr. Glide, Dr. Lock, Kid Lock, Mr. Loose. Mr. Loose I gave Mr. Loose his name. I gave Mr. Loose his name. He was a pop. He wasn't even a rocker. We got Mr. Loose because he was a popper. I gave him that name. Then I started teaching, you know, beat breaking and stuff to all around the kids around the neighborhood. I was the first guy breaking in Bushwick.
Oh, what?
I'm not saying breaking in Brooklyn. I was the first guy in Bushwick. I was the first guy spinning on my back and trying to learn the hand glide, some glide, and different people. And I was the first b-boy in Bushwick.
What I want to ask you, tell me, like you said about Dynasty and Touch of Rock was like big, always battles, always who's the best.
Yeah.
The fight for the #1, right? In Bushwick, Brooklyn. So tell me more about that Dynasty Rockers, that legendary battle, Dynasty Rockers and Touch of Rock. That battle between the both of them. How did that go and what happened?
Well, you know, little Edwin from Junior Dynasty, Carlo's brother, because Carlo was the leader of Dynasty, he would go like to everybody's block and start banging like Mako and this guy and that guy from Touch of Rock or any other crew besides Touch of Rock. And he would get us into battles, you know. And we used to tell him, look, Edwin, you got to stop, you know, start going to different blocks and looking like a villain, you know. You look like you're looking for trouble, you know. But eventually, you know, people always say, oh, Dynasty's better. Oh, no, Touch of Rock is better. So everybody had their own opinion. It's like Rocksteady and Dynamic. People thought Dynamic was the best. People thought Rocksteady was the best.
Yeah,
you know, until they had to go online and battle. And they battled a couple of times, you know. I mean, to me, Rocksteady was always better. To me, I mean, my opinion is always that Rocksteady had more of a flavor of a footwork, more footwork foundation. But Dynamic was more acrobatic power. You know, they did have footwork and stuff, but Wavy Lace, who was like Dynamic, was to me the best footwork Dynamic had.
Wow.
The same way, to me, the best footwork in Rocksteady was Ken Swift. I thought Kenny was the best guy that had footwork. I mean, Legs had good footwork too, but then you have a guy like Frosty who had footwork, but he was more of a character. Wow. He had more of a character's attitude. So, you know, you have to give it to him. And, you know, those had a character also, you know. So, you know, I'm not going to eliminate Rocksteady and say that they were whack. No, they were good. And they know what they did. You know, and you got to give it to them. But then you got Chino and Brian who's like really like awesome, you know, with Awesome Paul and Ness from Incredible Breakers. And, you know, and then you have, you know, Float, where those guys was like